Dun Shows World.
Welcome to Shows World, gamers. Josh here, and as this week draws to a close, I wanted to take a moment to look at this week's new game releases, gaming announcements, and a few news stories. If this is your first time on the channel, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and join in on the fun. Alright gamers, as always, we will start off with this week's new game releases. Now, Legend of Heroes Trials into Reverie released this week on the Nintendo Switch, the PC, the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 5. The game is a traditional turn-based role-playing game in the popular Legend of Heroes saga, and it does tie up loose ends from some of the previous games in this popular series. Now, Guilt released this week, finally breaking free from its grave of being an exclusive for the failed Google Stadia service. Now it is available on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox One, as well as on the Xbox Series systems. The game is a narrative adventure game with puzzles, stealth, and action, set in a fictional old mining town in the state of Maine. Now, Garlic is a really fun-looking indie game that released this week on the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox One, as well as on Xbox Series systems. The game plays like a classic 8-bit side-scrolling NES game, but completely taken to the next level with over-the-top gameplay elements, paying homage as well as kind of poking fun at some of the best retro action-adventure games from that era. The game looks like a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to giving this game a shot. Now, Gimmick Special Edition released this week on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series systems. The game is a special edition of a hidden gem from an 8-bit Famicom and NES game from back in 1992. With fun side-scrolling gameplay, but with a ton of customization in this release, like save states, rewind, as well as time attack modes, and more. Next up, let's take a look at some gaming announcements. Now, Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Class received an announcement trailer over the weekend during the Anime Expo. Now, this 2 vs 2 fighting game based on the popular anime will be coming to the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, PC, as well as Xbox systems, but no date was given at this time. Now, Pixel Junk Eden 2 received an announcement trailer that the game is coming to the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, and PC via both Steam and the Epic Game Store this year. The game is a puzzle platformer where you control microscopic creatures called Grimps and traverse gardens to collect spectra. Now, Dark Life Excalibur received an announcement trailer this week. The game is a fantasy RPG action-adventure Souls-like game developed by Zero Studios. The game tells an original tale about what happened to the legendary Excalibur sword. It will be coming to the PlayStation 5 as well as PC. Now, Ninja or Die received an official release date announcement trailer this week. This indie game looks like a lot of fun with fast, over-the-top, race against time, action platforming style gameplay in a classic 2D pixel art style. The trailer shows an August 2nd release date on Steam, but the game is also coming to Nintendo Switch, hopefully on that same date. Alright gamers, let's finish up with a few news stories from this week in gaming. Now, Daedalic Gaming, the company behind the recently released Gollum Lord of the Rings game, has announced they are no longer making games, canceling their upcoming second Lord of the Rings game that had reportedly already been in development. This news comes after the Gollum game continues to struggle, being universally panned as one of the worst games released so far this year. We also received info on what appears to be leaks for the next mainline game in the Last of Us franchise, The Last of Us 3, naming 5 new characters being introduced in the game as a group of scavengers, with Lucas, an affable character who develops a relationship with another young scavenger, Mason, a former soldier, Val, the female leader of the group, Ezra, the guy who wants to be the leader, and Gracie, a young woman. No word on a release window, but it sounds like the title is in early development, so I think we're still years away from seeing anything on the actual game. Now, in some unfortunate news for fans of Banjo-Kazooie games, it looks like the long-rumored revival of the franchise that really picked up steam after the characters were added to Smash appears to be non-existent, as some of the original developers of the game have recently come out saying they're unsure the franchise is going to even return at all. Now, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom received an update this week that fixed a few of the latest issues found in the game. The version number of the update was 1.2.0, but unlike other updates, there appears to be a new in-game items you can now access by starting the game within certain articles on the Switch News channel. Alright gamers, that concludes this week in review for the week ending on July 7th. The week started with word that Baldur's Gate 3 will have an astonishing 174 hours of cinematics, to which I say, strap into those complaining about Final Fantasy XVI being cinematic heavy. Then, we had fun spending time with friends and family as we celebrated the 4th of July. And the week ended with us still awaiting word on the judge's ruling of the FTC's case to block the Microsoft Activision deal. But let me know anything we may have missed in the comments, and thanks for joining us today, gamers. Shojo World, out.